Now, from your Storm Team 9 Alert Center, WTVM meteorologist Tyler Allender.
All right, we're watching things very closely, including a new tornado warning, so we want to get right to that over parts of Lee and Russell County. So let me just show you on paper where that particular storm is, or at least who's under the gun. In specifics, southern Lee County, southeastern Lee County, northern part of Russell County. Tornado warning goes until, let's see, 5 o'clock Central Time, and this particular storm capable of producing a tornado located near Society Hill, 11 miles southeast of Auburn, moving east at 35 miles per hour. So we're going to continue to watch that particular storm as it moves toward the east, and that's moving to the east very quickly at about 35 miles per hour. So let me go down to that particular storm right here, and you can see us on the east side of Auburn. So Auburn itself is okay, but the area that's in question is right in this region. A lot of lightning with it. We've been watching the storm move through Macon County. It pulses up every now and again, and this particular storm is looking a little suspect at times now as it moves basically near the Beauregard area, Society Hill, and off toward the east at about 35 miles per hour. I have meteorologist Dana Barker here as well, and we'll get to him in just a moment for some of the latest analysis. But here is a track of the storm, real quick, going at about 35 miles per hour. So some of the places that it's kind of heading toward is right toward the Shotwell community, 426 Central Time. Crawford, if it makes it to you, maybe around 435. Smith Station around 437. So an idea of just how quickly those storms are moving, and we'll continue to watch that. Dana?
Yeah, if we can take Max 2 real quick, I'm going to show you the actual, the rotation is actually near the Marvin area in the panhandle of Lee County right now. So we're 5180 coming together there, a very small community of Marvin. And for you guys in Beauregard, this is about 5 miles or 6 miles south of Beauregard. So again, Beauregard, the area right there, I know you guys are highly sensitive to this. You guys are going to be okay from this. It's going to be a little bit south of you. It's going to go right along Highway 80 here, Dixie Elementary School, Dixie Junior High School, Dixie School around 427, which is 527 Eastern Time, then near the Crawford area by about 532, and then it's really going to come round down the chute on 80 and really hug the line there between Lee County and Russell County. Let's take this off right now and show you where that is. It's a little notch indentation right here, which is actually right over the Marvin area right now as we speak. Let me take that off and kind of super zoom on in here. This is what we're seeing right now, is this area right over the Marvin area where that green on red is right here, and zoom on out there, you can see that little notch, and we've been kind of watching that. It's produced some damage way back in Montgomery County, in the eastern side of Montgomery on the Taylor Road area, and off and on produced some damage in Macon County too. So it has a history of damage. Is it producing a tornado right now? We do not know that, but there is enough credence and enough really suspect rotation for them to have issued a warning here and pop the warning back on. And again, that warning goes, that's actually, sorry about that, and that's the watches and warnings. That's your watch, and here is your warning. Again, there's a warning for southern Lee County and the northern extent of Russell County along the Highway 80 corridor. So again, Auburn, Opelika, you are not in this tornado warning. You're in a severe thunderstorm warning, but not in a tornado warning. So Auburn, Opelika, the campus of Auburn University, the campus of Southern Union, you are not in this warning. And Russell County, really, it's a northern part near Phoenix City, Ladonia, Crawford. It's the most highly populated area of Russell County. But again, Seal, Pittsview, Fort Mitchell, Glenville, not for you. And again, here's that warning goes until 6 Eastern, 5 Central. So you're hearing the sirens right now in Smith Station. You're hearing them right now in Phoenix City. It's because we have this rotation right now that is over the Marvin area, heading on down Highway 80. And here it is again right here, right to the east of Marvin, moving on off toward the east into northern Russell County. It's in that Lee County panhandle right here near Marvin right now as we speak. I'm going to take a look and see if we see anything on our debris tracker, and that's out of Birmingham here. So let me put eyes on that from a closer sight from Maxwell. Don't really see anything right now suspect from a debris standpoint. Let's go on back to our velocity product here on Max 2. And again, there's a little indentation right there just to the east of Marvin proper. That's where 80 and 51 come together right there in southern Lee County in the Panhandle, and really going to follow Highway 80 all the way through to Dixie School into Crawford as well. So again, Crawford, you got about 15 minutes or so to seek shelter. You need to be seeking shelter right now. And of course, the warning goes all the way to the Georgia border, Phoenix City and Smith Station. Tyler?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dana. And we did get a report on the southwest side of Auburn. Trees down along Bell Road near East toward Glenn of a possible tornado, so that likely kind of got the attention of the National Weather Service. They're saying that the little circulation feature that was near Marvin has dissipated. So that's the good news with this particular event, is that the tornado signatures just aren't lasting very long, but they are enough to get our attention for a cycle or two, a scan or two, and you just have to treat all these storms as potentially producing a tornado for the time being as they move through. Now, again, it's east of Auburn. It's basically in the little southern portion of Lee County there, as Dana referred to it as the little panhandle part of Lee County. And don't want to leave out our friends in northern Russell County. You're technically under the warning, but as we loop over the last 30 minutes, it's going to basically skirt the northern part of the county along Highway 80. So, Crawford, Ladonia might get skirted, but basically the area that we're watching in question was kind of right in this area, south of Beauregard, as it continues to move off toward the east. It's just not looking all that impressive on the radar signatures right now. I want to show you that whole line of storms and kind of where it's moving. Yes, we're focusing on, the most intense parts of the line, but I also don't want to leave out the rest of our area and the fact that we can expect some pockets of very damaging winds. Phoenix City, you could see those storms are going to be knocking on our doorstep very soon. Columbus, probably before the top of the hour, eventually toward Eufaula around 5:20 Eastern time. We'll see those storms kind of moving into our area, and they'll be moving toward the east at about 40 miles per hour, so we can expect some at least very gusty winds, but pockets of strong damaging winds are possible as we go into the next several minutes and even the next couple hours. But look how quick this is going to be moving into Sumter County. By about 7:30, we'll be seeing that heaviest, most intense rain moving through. Still some pretty good rain behind it, but just a steady rain. Again, this is the most intense part of the storm right now that is over the Auburn area, really to the south and east, but you're still hearing quite a bit of thunder. There's a lot of lightning. LaGrange, earlier severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled. You're still getting rain there. Valley and Casita, Alabama, we're seeing some good downpours. As we go to the south, Opelika, heavy rain, but you are not under that tornado warning. Same for Auburn, but the tornado warn cell is right here. A lot of lightning over Beauregard, but that circulation center is basically, or what was the circulation, is kind of now to the south and east of you. You go down to Fort Davis, and we certainly are seeing some of that rain. So if you're extending down Highway 29, you just want to kind of wait this thing out for the next little bit. So let's kind of zero back in on the storm in Lee and northern Russell County, Dana.
All right, if we can take Max 2 up right here, and we'll show you where that rotation is. It's now into Russell County here, and it's just that little notch right here, and it's been dropping. The reason they issued this warning is because they saw a little tornadic signature just to the northeast of Society Hill, and that's really back here in Macon County along the Highway 80 corridor here. Let me diagram this for you here and kind of draw it out. This is where your little indentation is right here. This is where the area would be. So your rotation would be right here heading into the northwestern portion of Russell County. And again, let's put eyes on that, and we'll put a track on it for you. And again, it seems to be just following Highway 80 here all the way in toward the Crawford area. And again, it's going just to the north of due east, so we put a track on it to the Phoenix City area. And again, near Dixie, around 5:28 Eastern Time, 4:28 Central Time. Crawford around 5:34, 5:35 Eastern Time. Ladonia just after 5:40 Eastern Time. And again, they'll be coming to the western side of Phoenix City after that around the 5:45 time frame. So again, here's your tornado warning, and here is why we have the warning. That little indentation right there in the northern part of Russell County heading up into the Highway 80 area. And again, it's just going to follow Highway 80 there all the way through the northern part of the county. And let's zoom on back out, and we'll show you the rest of the line here. And again, really nothing suspect throughout the rest of the line. Let's pop on the warnings here. And again, really the only game in town is that one warning for Lee County. And you see now the update. They've trimmed part of it off here. So Marvin, Beauregard, you're no longer in the warning. And now just the southeastern part of Lee County, northeastern part of Russell County is in that tornado warning. And again, the warning goes until 5 a.m. Central Time, 6 a.m. Eastern Time. A tornado near the Griffin Mill area or 11 miles southwest of Smith Station, moving east at 35 miles an hour. Again, take the warnings off, and really now it's really anywhere along this track right about here could be producing a tornado. So we're going to diagram it like so, move it on off toward the east, and if it holds together, Again, that's a big if. If it does hold together and produce some kind of rotation, Crawford 535, Ladonia around 540, or Crawford 535, Ladonia 545, and then in Phoenix City by 550, and then across the river into Columbus by 553, Bibb City, and then, of course, 555 or so downtown Columbus. But again, that's a big if, and again, that's about 20 miles right now west of downtown Columbus and moving off toward the east. So we got a lot of time to look at this and a lot of time to go through it before it gets close to the area here. But again, Crawford need to be in shelter right now. It'll be on you within the next 10 minutes or so. Tyler?
All right, thanks, Dana. And I just want to make a correction. Earlier, I said there was a report near Auburn University, and that's actually Auburn University Montgomery campus in Montgomery County. And the location was wrong. A roof off a home near Gloucester Mews, a possible tornado. But this is all kind of a sign where at times this morning, over the past hour and a half or so, we've seen these storms kind of perk up, die down, then cycle back up, and we have to treat all the warnings seriously, even the thunderstorm warnings, as maybe a brief tornado spinning up at any time. And this is a perfect case in point. You know, at the top of the hour, we had, toward the top of the hour, we had a severe thunderstorm warning for Russell, northern Lee County, with a tornado possible tag. It's a new initiative that the National Weather Service is doing that says that it's not quite organized to become a tornado at the given moment. But then they went ahead and issued a tornado warning within the severe thunderstorm warning because it was a little more organized for a brief time near the Marvin community, where we had that circulation, and it's since kind of moved and weakened a little bit off to the east. But basically right on the Russell-Lee County line is where we're seeing some of the most intense storms. You can see that line stretches from basically up toward Meriwether County, Troup County line. The heaviest, most intense part is right over Lee County, and you see that little inundation, little slight notch. That's also shows us that the air is a little more turbulent, perhaps there in Lee County, right over the Russell County line. Again, the storm section in question is basically riding Highway 80, as Dana said, but then we're also going to watch the line back to the west. The bottom line is, even though we had that small part of the Lee-Russell County line that's under a tornado warning, anybody along this line could see a severe threat, including a brief damaging wind potential and also maybe even a brief tornado. This isn't going to be a long track tornado that stays on the ground. It's not that type of setup. It's even different than last night's almost supercellular type setup, but this is more of a line, and within the line there's these little suspect areas that do provide some rotation and circulation that the radar picks up on. The National Weather Service analyzes closely, and we pass that message along to you. Dana, if you wouldn't mind just kind of zooming in on that cell on Max 1 for me so that we can give you a better look at the storm over Lee and Russell County. Again, the tornado warning itself does not include Auburn, but it is to the south and east, and it is moving kind of in the general direction of just to the south of Smith Station here. So here's the radar as of about 30 minutes ago. If we could zoom in a little bit, and you could see maybe the strongest part of the line where there might be some rotation right in here, approaching Highway 80. So west side of Crawford, if you're in Crawford, you should be in your safe place. Ladonia being your safe place. Smith Station, just to be on the safe side, you're technically in that warning. Don't think it will necessarily go up your way, but it's too close to call at this point. Ladonia Elementary School, you are under the gun. Prince Crossroads, you're under the gun. So you need to be just in your safe place just in case. And where is that safe place in your home? Well, hopefully you identified it before this severe threat, but it's in the lowest level of your home, middle of your home, away from windows like a bathroom or a closet. And some of the communities that are in the path of this storm, Dixie Junior High School, which Friendship Church, 441 Central Time, Ladonia right around 4:45 Central Time. Saying about 15 minutes or so until it makes it there. Might be a little bit quicker, so you just have to be ready and get into the lowest level of your home as soon as you possibly can. What we look for on the velocity, which is basically Doppler radar's way of looking at winds. Winds coming away from the radar, winds going toward the radar. And the suspect area is right there where we're kind of circled. Winds going toward the radar site and away from the radar site in red. How do you say that? Uland? Dana, do you know? in the northern part of Russell County. You're kind of right in that circulation, and it continues to move right along the Highway 80 corridor, and it moves toward Crawford, Hughley, and eventually right over toward Faith Temple as well. So again, we look for different characteristics when it comes to possible tornadic signatures, and a lot of that has to do with the wind, because a tornado, it might not be touching the ground, but on radar we can pick it up aloft sometimes, and there's a circulation that was definitely showing up on radar, and we have to treat that very seriously. And at the very least, we could see those very gusty winds extending up toward the Shotwell community, eventually heading towards Smith Station. So again, if you're in Smith Station, I would just plan on some strong winds, be in your safe room, ready to go just in case that tornado warning goes for about another, 30 minutes or so, I believe. It goes until 5 o'clock Central Time for this particular area. Of course, we don't know yet if it's going to be extended farther east into Harris or Muskogee counties. There's no indications of that just yet. I kind of have my doubts, but that's not to say down the road it might not happen again. We may actually see that occur later on down the road. So along that line, not seeing other suspect areas as far as any circulation, any potential tornadoes, but we're going to be watching that closely. This is what we call the reflectivity mode, the normal radar, what you normally see. I do want to point out all the flood advisories that are being triggered with some of this rain that continues. It's very heavy rain that's moving through, and then a steady rain behind the heaviest rain, if that makes sense. So a couple, 2-3 inches of rain an hour, not out of the question in some spots. Columbus, you're getting a few showers, nothing severe at the moment, but we're going to watch this particular storm. It kind of bends around, gets a little ominous looking every now and again, and it's right in there why a tornado warning was prompted, because there was a circulation in Society Hill over in Macon County, and then eventually dissipating near Marvin. So it remains to be seen if there was actually a tornado. But look how this particular storm is bowing out. It's certainly becoming more of a strong wind threat, even though the tornado warning still exists. I'm very concerned about some high winds in this part of Lee County, so east of Beauregard and southeast of Beauregard over towards Smith Station, down toward the Crawford community. You just never know what might be in this particular storm system. It's kind of hard to get a clear look, but very strong winds can be just as damaging as a weak tornado. So right over the Crawford area, eventually Ladonia, you'll be under the gun. The wind, intense wind, out ahead of the rain, just ahead of the rain, but where we still may have some circulation, and even another circulation perhaps, little notches, little twists in the atmosphere, just on the west and southwest side of Crawford, just south of Highway 80, and another one just to the north here of Smith Station. Can we zoom in and get a little better idea of exactly where that second northern circulation might be?
This is what I'm seeing on radar right here, Tyler. Not one that the Weather Service is really looking at, but we will put eyes on that one, though. And this one will be eventually, this is really Gut Rock Lake up here, up toward the southern part of Harris County. No formal warning for this area, though, but you will see some high winds as well, heading on off toward the east and crossing the river into Georgia here within the next 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, so thanks for that heads up. It's kind of hard to see sometimes the little circulations within the line, and that's why we try to have our eyes on the, basically the whole entirety of the line as much as we possibly can. So everything's moving very quickly, 30, 40 miles per hour. Some of the areas that might be hard hit, Catala School around 5:55 Eastern time, if the strongest winds kind of hold together with this. But I would plan on a lot of us seeing very gusty winds, maybe up to 30, 40 miles per hour as this line progresses. Remember, we're all under a tornado watch. That goes until noon Eastern time, but a lot of us are going to see the worst weather being done with in the next few hours. So as everything kind of progresses through the area rather rapidly, it's going to be a rapid transformation into just light, stratiform, steady rain. Here's when we can expect some of the worst weather in these communities. Columbus around 5:54 Eastern time, so toward the top of the hour. hour, we can expect some of the strongest winds, the most intense rain to arrive. The rain will continue beyond that. Casita, 627 or so, Buena Vista, 651, and Butler, 701. Taylor County under a tornado warning yesterday, but that part of Taylor County was not. Either way, we're still watching that storm that may be producing some rotation right there to the south and very near Crawford right now. And we are continuing to analyze every scan that comes in from Doppler radar, and we're chatting with the National Weather Service to keep an eye on things. Again, just a little bit of a notch that continues every now and again for the eastern part of Smith County. It almost looks more like the northern side of that storm, Dana, is kind of perking up every now and again, getting some, it's kind of hard to see on the radar data a lot.
Yeah,
but,
that's out of Birmingham. Let's go to the one of Maxwell. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, so it looks like one little notch right about here, the one just south of Crawford. So Crawford, it's on you right now. You should have been in shelter when the warning was issued about 20 minutes ago. And then there's that one right here near the Gut Rock area down towards Smith Station. So I would really say anywhere along this line from the Gut Rock area, the backwaters, down toward Crawford, anywhere we'll see high winds, and again, possibly a tornadic circulation near the Crawford area, and again, one just north of Smith Station as well, heading on off toward the east and northeast. And again, there's a warning, goes until 6 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Central. Tyler.
Yeah, so, you know, we're gonna have more warnings inevitably, probably some severe thunderstorm warnings extended, I would think, into Harris and Muskogee County at this rate, unless more circulations kind of pop up with probably a tornado possible tag. In other words, we're going to see severe weather possible, but there could be a brief tornado at any time. This is the trend that we've been seeing kind of all morning long as these storms kind of perk up a little bit. They flare up for about 10 or 15 minutes. They show a robust tornado signature, and then they move on off toward the east at about 40 miles per hour. And it looks like they have issued that severe thunderstorm warning now, right, for Harris and Muskogee County?
Yeah, but you called it as well, that tornado possible tag. So for all Muskogee, really all of Harris except for the West Point area and the west central sliver of Talbot there.
Okay, and what time does that go to?
That goes until 6:15 Eastern time.
6:15. So this is moving really quickly, on the order of, I guess, about 40 miles per hour the last time we checked. So let's, when you get a chance, guys, go over to Max 2, and Dana can put a storm analysis on this and a storm track, and we can give you some times of arrival for the tornadic circulation, if what we're still seeing, and then further on down the road.
All right, thanks, Tyler. And yeah, the suspect rotation is still right over Crawford right now. So we take Max 2 here. And again, here it is, Crawford right there where 8169 come together. And again, does it look like it's producing a tornado right now? No, it doesn't, but it's produced damage really all the way back to the Montgomery area, east side of Montgomery, Taylor Road near AUM. Saw some damage over the past hour and a half from this circulation. So the lineage of it is enough where we still have that tornado warning going on for the very northern sliver of Russell and the southeastern part of Lee County, including Smith Station, Phoenix City as well. And again, the severe thunderstorm warning is issued for all of Muskogee, so the entire city of Columbus under a severe thunderstorm warning, really the southern, really all of Harris County except for the West Point area and then west central parts of Talbot County. And again, put eyes on where the most severe part of it is and draw a path. And here are some arrival times at some towns. Smith Station, 5:40 Eastern Time. Ladonia, 5:50. Phoenix City, 5:55. Columbus right at 6 o'clock. So 6 bells, you're going to see that very, very strong winds. Fort Benning, 6:06. Woodland and Talbot County, around 6:15. And then Eelbeck, which is actually a community just north of Casita in Chattahoochee County, around the 6:20 time frame. So again, moving on off toward the east here. So the tornado warning, and again, it's all the same right now to me. Severe thunderstorm warning, tornado warning. It doesn't matter if winds are going straight line or rotationally. They're going to do some damage. 60-mile-an-hour wind in a circle or straight, doesn't matter. They're both capable of doing some damage. So take all warnings seriously. And again, we could see a little spin-up enhancement tornado in any of those storms heading on off toward the east and northeast here. Let's zoom on in, super zoom in to where the line is right now, the strongest winds. Crawford right here, 169 coming on down toward Crawford and then heading on down toward Seal. Follow that line on down here toward the Uchee School, Sanford Road, that comes on out from the south side of Phoenix City. So let's head on up here through that line. Crawford, just east of Crawford right now, heading on up toward the Moffitt's Mill area of Lee Road 240, the old Auburn Road, heading on up, and then just to the west of Smith Station. This right here is Lee Road 430, where the Dollar General is, a flea market right now. That's where that line's coming on through. And then up toward the north and east near the power plant, we see the big smokestack coming in. You can see that for miles out there near Goat Rock, right near Goat Rock Dam. And then follow up toward the north and east here, past the Antioch Church area, on the Mountain Hill area, past Mountain Hill School, crossing 185 right now between exits 19 and 25, and then on up toward the Hamilton area. New scan. And again, here's that line heading on through just east of Crawford, heading towards Smith Station right now. Smith Station, you're seeing some strong winds on you in the next 5 minutes or so. And then up toward the Goat Rock area, southern parts of Harris County, Mountain Hill area in Harris County, and then up toward the Hamilton area. And what it's doing right now, you're seeing the different colors here. It's switching automatically from radars. The closest radar right now to this is Peachtree City, and then the closest radar here is Maxwell Air Force Base out of Montgomery. That's why you're seeing the different colors there. But the same message, no matter what color you're seeing, we're seeing strong winds all up and down this line. And then that suspect rotation near the Crawford area in northern Russell County and southeastern Lee County. And again, the warnings continue until 6 a.m. Eastern time, a tornado warning, and again, tornado watch in effect for the entire viewing area until 10 a.m., and then that severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible for parts of Talbot, Harris, Muskogee, and again, we'll put that warning on and show you where that is. All of Muskogee, most all of Harris County as well, and then a little sliver of west central Talbot County in that warning until 6:15 a.m. Eastern time. Tyler, what you got?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dana. And I want to switch back to Max 1, and I think we might be on that. And Dana,
That's it. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, okay. And let's look at that Union Springs section of that line too. It looks like it may be trying to circulate every now and again too, or at least some very strong winds. It's not that clear of a depiction there, but certainly want to watch the southern end of the storm too as it gets ready to head into western Russell County, northern Barber County. It will continue to, all along this line, produce some very heavy rain at the very least, and some gusty winds too. So you can see maybe a little bit of circulation every now and again right there along the 82 corridor south and east of Union Springs toward Midway. That's something that we're going to watch as it moves kind of toward the southwestern corner of Russell County, northwestern corner of Barber County. And I know this area, not too far away, was hit kind of hard last night with some strong storms and even a tornado warning in the vicinity last night. But either way, this is the second round of those storms that came through yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening. Now we're seeing that second wave as advertised, and it'll be out of here in most spots in the next few hours or so. So again, right along this line, we're going to watch very carefully, and then extending it up into the southeastern corner of Lee County, right on the Russell County line. That's where we have the most intense winds at the moment. But it looks like they've canceled that tornado warning. I could have missed that, but they made a uniform severe thunderstorm warning with a possible tornado all the way throughout from the southeastern corner of Lee County into Harris and Muskogee counties. And that warning goes until 6:30, I believe. Isn't that right, Danny?
6:15 for Muskogee, yep.
6:15 for Muskogee, much of Harris County, and western Talbot County. So that's how quickly this line of storms is moving to the east at 40 miles per hour when you can. Let's put the normal reflectivity on and then a storm track, because we have to expect the potential for very gusty winds, maybe a brief tornado along this line. Somewhere embedded in this particular line, there could be a brief tornado at any time as it moves east at 40 miles per hour. So you see some of those in the path of this particular storm. It'll be racing off to the east. Waverly Hall, 6:07. Talbotton, 6:28. Casita, around 6:45. That's when we can expect some of the leading edge of the worst weather. Keep in mind, places like Chambers and Troup County, it's raining now, but the worst weather has passed off to your east and southeast. The rest of us still need to be on guard right through the next few hours at least, but we'll see a gradual improvement in the conditions from northwest to southeast as the morning goes on. Dana.
Yep. You can take Max 2 real quick. You reminded me, Tyler, I can do the my most favorite thing here.
What's that?
Let me draw it up here and draw a line from about Troy to Union Springs through Opelika, LaGrange. Right? And other than that, we can put a big smiley face right here. You're going to see lightning. You're going to see some thunder. You're going to see some wind maybe, but you're done. You're done with the threat here. The long day-and-a-half threat that we had is over west of that line. But east of that line, the warnings continue, and the tornado watch continues as well.
Yeah, that's always good. We need some positivity, right, when we're talking about severe weather coverage, and we certainly got that basically to the left of that most intense line of some rain. So in the meantime, those spots out ahead of it, we still have to be alert for some very, very gusty winds, maybe on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour as it moves off toward the east at about 40 miles per hour. So you could see certainly a general line, but every now and again, little notches that kind of get our attention. And as they move toward the east at 40 miles per hour, it's going to be impacting some of our communities. So Columbus is getting close to you as far as the worst conditions, but right over western Harris County as you go up along the Lee County line, we're seeing some intense rain. I-185, really a nasty go of things. So if you're about to head up to the north on 185 from Muskogee County, just wait a little bit. This will pass very quickly. In fact, the leading edge of the rain is already coming into Pine Mountain and Hamilton. You are technically on the edge of a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 6:15 for this area. Again, anywhere along the line stretching from northern Harris County all the way into southeastern Lee County, right over Smith Station. It's raining to beat the band right now. Heavy rain, gusty winds. The gustiest winds over Ladonia at the moment. And you can see that extends into northern Russell County all the way down to Hurtsboro. It's not to Seal yet. You go farther to the south and west into Bullitt County, we're seeing the storm, and these little notches every now and again could perk up, and if they cycle enough, we could see some kind of tornadic signature that show up, and that's what we're kind of continuing to analyze. But you have to treat these severe thunderstorm warnings like tornado warnings. Been saying that for about an hour and a half or so this morning, about an hour or so, because they just the circulations pop up so quickly, then they fade away, and then they might cycle back again. Now, the green that you're seeing, those are flood advisories because of the still steady rain that continues. Looks like new severe thunderstorm warning off to the northeastern part of Meriwether County and off toward Peachtree City, but severe thunderstorm warning with a possible tornado still continues for southeastern Lee County, but over Harris and Muskogee County. You could see certainly that heavy rain approaching Columbus right in time or not in time, depending on your perspective for the morning commute. So it is going to slow things down here as some of you are going back to school today. So just be mindful of that. We see those very gusty winds, but nothing that's looking super urgent right now. What do you think, Dana?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I was watching that one little notch over the eastern part of Bullitt County, but I think for the most part, we're just seeing some gusty winds here. And again, we're not downplaying that. Just like Tyler said, take these very seriously here with some very gusty winds, heavy rainfall as well. We'll keep an eye on this one right here. You see a little notch right there where the line goes squirrely right there on the Bullitt Barber County line, south of Midway. If that continues, I'll head on over toward the Comer area, the northern part of Barber County, just to the north of Eufaula, and follow the line on up here through Russell County. And again, there's where the former rotation was near Crawford, heading on toward Ladonia right now, heading on down Smith Station, down 280. The northwestern corner of Muskogee right now, heading on out toward the Old River Road area up there toward the Goat Rock community, and then over into Hamilton and up to the northeast toward Pine Mountain and then to Meriwether County outside the area. But again, we're going to watch this line heading on off toward the east, and again, a little suspect rotations may produce a very quick spin-up tornado. Anywhere along that line, that tornado watch continues for most of the morning hours. Tyler?
Favor and on Max 1, put the lightning on and do a little sample query of that, and let's do a lightning count because I know the lightning has been very intense. So now realize that lightning does not constitute a severe thunderstorm. It does not fit the definition of a severe thunderstorm because every thunderstorm in the south would be severe, especially in the summer. But look at all this lightning here. In this box, we have a total of 170 lightning strikes just in about 5 minutes time. And maybe go back through the timeline and let's see what I don't know if it does that, if it keeps track of like in the past hour what that was. Let's see. So there was that was where it was most intense.
The Auburn area.
Yeah, that's where it was most intense. It's actually kind of, well, that's a smaller area, but
Yep.
we're still seeing quite a bit of lightning with this. And when you see that lightning still being produced, it's often a sign that the storms are still getting their act together. So, 229 lightning strikes about 30 minutes ago, not as much lightning, but we're still seeing quite a bit of lightning. Sometimes, even though lightning isn't a part of a severe thunderstorm per se, it's still a sign that the overall storm is strengthening. Strongest would be right here on the Lee-Harris County line, beginning to move into the Goat Rock area. As Dana's been pointing out, you can see right over Smith Station and just to the north some intense heavy rain and gusty winds. Moving along 280 right at the Love's traffic stop there, truck stop I should say, and it's continuing to move toward the east at 40 miles per hour. So in no time it will be moving over North Columbus, the Midland area, Flat Rock, and eventually over toward Fortson and Waverly Hall. We'll be seeing those storms come through. Crawford, the worst is on you now. Same for Ladonia, but we don't have any tornadic signatures per se, but I still want to stress how gusty some of these winds might be, 40 to 60 miles per hour, right on the edge of that rain. So we're putting a track on this because in basically 25 to 40 minutes, it's going to be moving through Box Springs, Fort Benning around 6:14 Eastern time, and we'll be seeing that move right on top of us here in Columbus in the next 10 minutes. So we will be hearing the rain, we will be hearing the thunder pick up, seeing the lightning pick up as well. Most importantly, no signs of rotation at the moment, it doesn't look like, although there's some, every now and again, a few spots of circulation. One may be south of Crawford there, just west of 431, but it's mostly damaging winds, which again can be quite strong as this line moves toward the east. Again, we've been saying it for several minutes now, more or less an hour plus. A brief tornado can't be ruled out as this moves east, so every now and again you may see a tornado warning issued. We're looking at some of our parameters here, not seeing really impressive gate-to-gate shear, which is winds going in different directions and the total amount of intensity of the winds, but we're still seeing winds in one direction very strong, and that'll be enough to maybe topple down a few trees and certainly slow some of you down on the morning commute. So let's look at the regular radar one last time, and then we'll kind of get into our forecast mode here and try to regroup, step back a little bit, and analyze things. And you see some of the showers and storms that are stretching all the way down through Hurtsboro, eventually going to be moving across the 431 corridor in Russell County. It's getting very close to Phoenix City right now. You see down toward Union Springs, we're seeing those storms. Just a very defined line of storms, but every once in a while, these storms kind of jet out a little bit and head off toward, as it heads off to the east, 40 miles per hour. Amazing how the atmosphere still stayed relatively unstable despite the storms that we had yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening. Temperatures still in the upper 60s, low 70s. Dana, that's a lot of juice to keep these storms going, isn't it?
Yeah, if we take Max 2 real quick, and Tyler, if you want to go ahead and maybe get into regular forecast mode here to use time to do that on Max 1. And again, we'll just follow this line along. It's in the northern reaches of Columbus right now, heading through the northwestern corner of Muskogee County. And like we've been saying, it seems the heaviest part of it is right over Goat Rock Lake, up toward the north here. So again, not a fun commute on 185. About to be on you on 185 and 315 right here. Exit 19 on 185. On down toward Green Island Hills, on down toward Ladonia area as well into Russell County. And again, the most severe part of the line where the warning is for southeastern Lee County, northeastern Russell County. That warning goes until 6 a.m., so really for the next 5 minutes or so. Then the warning until 6:15. I do think this will be extended, though. I don't think it's going to clear Harris and Muskogee by 6:15. I think we're going to see maybe an extension on that. Might see some of it lopped off here from Hamilton down toward northwestern part of Muskogee County, but I think we're going to see this warning extended for most of Muskogee because in some parts of town, it's not even raining yet. If you're in Midland, if you're in Upatoy, if you're over in the east side of Columbus, South Columbus, it isn't even raining yet, so we might see this warning extended. But again, it's going to be on you pretty quickly here with some very, very gusty winds 60 miles an hour, and again, that tag, tornado possible, might see a spin-up, isolated tornado out of this coming on down. Tyler?
All right, thank you, Dana. And let's go ahead and take a look at our tornado watch that we have in effect until 12 o'clock Eastern time for the entire area. It will be dropped before then for most of our region. In fact, we already gave you the all clear basically for Chambers County and much of Lee County on the Auburn side of the county. And we'll still watch the rest of our communities as we go through the morning hours. But we kind of expect a good improvement in most spots during the 7, 8, and 9 o'clock hours. So around 7:30, these storms are likely going to be moving through parts of Marion and Webster County, all the way down toward northern Randolph County in Georgia, northern Quitman, northern Clay County, I should say, and then that moves over toward the east. And you can see by 9 o'clock, most of us are in pretty good shape. We had that window of storms late morning to midday clearing our area for the past couple of days, and it looks like that is still on track. Now, keep in mind, even after the intense rain passes us, we're still going to see some light to moderate showers as we go through the next few hours, basically through the morning in some spots. But then, believe it or not, this afternoon, the sun comes out. We'll see increasing sunshine. The air will be much quieter. Cold front passes through. Really won't feel that cool until tonight and tomorrow morning. Temperatures dip back down into the 40s for overnight lows. So we're going to be ready to take action still for a few more hours if those warnings are issued. You see on the 9-day forecast, mostly sunny skies on Thursday, high temperatures in the 60s. By Friday, we're going to see upper 50s Saturday, and temperatures reach the 60s, and we might see a few showers early next week. Not a big deal, though, but you do notice after today, the temperatures will be cooler with highs closer to average for January standards. We're going to regroup and get ready for the 6 o'clock show now, go to break, and we'll be back and continue to watch the weather and your news headlines.